the YouTube and the web does our heavy lifting. Understanding Matthew 10, verse 23, and make this nice and short. This is, we were discussing this coming back from camp earlier, and we were listening to the live stream of IUIC. It was Bishop Nathaniel teaching. He was going into the different African, when you go to Africa, you're separating the so-called Africans, Hamites, from, separating them from the Israelites, and that how you had Israelites scattered among various so-called African groups, or Hamites, Semites scattered among the Hamites and the Canaanites and so forth. He was bringing out a lot of maps, and he was going into a lot of different material. And, he was basically saying that we can't, he pulled out the scripture about endless genealogies. Somebody can put it in there, no big deal. I'm not going to go to it. Anyway, he said that if you see somebody in Africa that might have the phenotype, say the facial features mostly of like an African that looks black as hell, you see an African in America, you can see that that's not a Jake based upon their facial features, even though they have woolly hair. So he basically was saying that you really don't know whether that's a Hamite or an Israelite. So if the person listens and learns and he's, he wants to continue to learn, he said you can't reject that person because you don't know if that's an Israelite or not. And in that case, I said Edomite. You got people, even us, we get a little iffy if we see somebody that looks real, has a phenotype and the whole look of a straight up blonde hair, blue eyed Edomite who can possibly be an Israelite. So everything is done everything is spiritually discerned. Because if he's an Edomite or of another nation, he's not going to come to the classes. He's not going to come around and be diligent and understand. Like me, myself, when I get like a few people that listen in the audience, I'll ask them questions. They might have came out for a month, 2 months. And I might ask some questions that I asked them maybe a month ago. I might have said it a couple of times. So I wanted to test them to see if they're paying attention. So I'll ask a question, and sometimes they'll get it, sometimes they'll think about it and get it, and sometimes they just don't get it. And then I assess whether this guy is learning or not. Because this thing is about growing. So if I see you totally, I ask you something, I can't even think of an example, but I'll ask you something that's pretty basic. If you have been watching the videos, you might have said, well, I've been watching y'all for a whole year. I watch all your videos. And then you come out to the camp and you out there for about good 2-3 months. And I ask you a question that someone that's been watching the video for a year, in this case, a year and 3 months, watching us face to face, there should be no big thing about you answering this question. I'm not going to answer a question that I would ask somebody that's been doing this for 15 years, for 10 years. I'll ask you a question that is somewhat basic, but a little bit of difficult to it, just to see where you at. And if you can't answer that question, I'm saying, then I might ask you another question. I might ask somebody next to you a question, and you kind of come up with some off the wall answer. And I'm thinking this guy's lying. This guy hasn't been watching videos, or if he's watching videos, he's not paying attention. He's not taking notes. And then I might start to say, well, is this man one of the elect? And then even go deeper and say, is this man actually an Israelite? Maybe he's just a heathen. So, you know, that's how you come into this, because like I said, we look like everybody on the planet Earth. Even Bishop Nathaniel was going into, which is it was good. The stuff that we listened to was good. But there was one thing I disagreed with, and it's not a big deal. But yeah, he was getting down. They were getting down. They were going into among the Chinese, you have Jakes. Among the people of Iran, you have Jakes, and then you even have groups of Jakes that kind of live together. That's like in the Philippines, for example, the Thai people. Those people, most of them, if not all of them, are Jake. The Thai people, the Filipinos, they're very super dark ones. They call them negritos, which means little Negroes. And then you have certain communities of darker skin, so-called Chinese. You have history on black Japanese. As a matter of fact, the original Russians are Israelites. The original Russians, when you do the history, they are known as the Scythians. And the apostle Paul spoke concerning the Scythians and the barbarians. Who do you receiving salvation? Who do you think he was talking about? He was talking about Jake. You know, you had Jakes that came into this truth that were barbarians, that were Scythians, that were Greeks, meaning that's why they were called Greeks, Greek, as opposed to Grecians. So you got individuals like Vocab Malone and others in the Christian world. They'll say, "Well, wait a minute, the Lord came for Gentiles." Hit you with a scripture dealing with the Gentiles or dealing with the heathens. Salvation can come to the heathens too. Here's a scripture on it. Or even the Greeks. And he'll even mention the Grecians, and the Grecians are Israelites primarily from outside of Israel. They have communities outside of the land of Palestine that know that they're Israelites, keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and they do a pilgrimage three times out of the year to come to Jerusalem. And one of the main high holy days is the Passover. So you got a big group of Alexandrian Jews, which are what? Which are Israelites, or part of any of the 12 tribes of Israel, or part of the kingdom of Judah that settled in Egypt. And that's all throughout the scripture, the great disperse, that diaspora. And then in the great diaspora, you had people that lost their religion. Like you had the Northern Kingdom come over here. And what happened? They said they were going to come over here to keep all the lands, right? Well, they never kept in Assyria, in the heathen land. So now they're going to keep the laws. Well, guess what? Throughout the years, they done lost the laws. And the so-called white man helped them lose the laws. Because the only language that they understood was, in the Americas, this language that was spoken was Hebrew. James Adair tells you that. But anyway, let's come back to the class that Bishop Nathaniel did. So he was covering a lot of good things. He was going into, how Israel is literally scattered throughout the whole world, from the east to the west, to the uttermost, to the hinder part of the earth. And that's spoken of several times in the scriptures. That's spoken of in Acts, the first chapter. starting at the fifth, sixth verse. It says, you will speak in Jerusalem and in the uttermost in Judea and in the uttermost part of the earth, meaning on the other side of the earth. Now, where are the records where the disciples or any of the Messiah's followings went on the other side of the earth? They never did, but they did in reincarnate. They were reincarnated and came to this land by way of what? The captive slave ships. So now, in saying all of that, he said, so we got a big job to do. And if I can't do it, you men got to step up to the plate. So it's obvious what he meant by that. He was pushing out that we have to go to every Israelite, whether they look like Moabites, whether they look like Hamites, Canaanites, Arabs. We gotta hit every piece of the globe, and we gotta confront every last. Let's say there's what, not quite 9 billion, according to information out there. Not quite 9 billion. Let's say 8 billion people on the planet. Let's say there's 3 billion Israelites, with all the tribes and all them mixing the seed and planting the seeds and the other women. Let's say there's 3 billion people. It's humanly impossible for 1 million men to speak to 3 billion people. That's why you have the internet. That's why you have the YouTube. But what he said, he was clearly going off, but it was a gallant thing that he said. You know, he wants to reach everybody, but that's not what this gospel is all about. It's about the elect. And we don't got to go to every elect person. Oh, the person just passed by the street. You didn't tell me he's an Israelite. He might have been the elect. If he was one of the elect, he would have stopped and looked at the sign. The elect are a scant number. I'm using Dr. Brown's word. A scant number. A small number. Matter of fact, 144,000. Then you have the multitude in Revelation 7 verse 9. So when everything's said and done, we don't have to go to every single person out there. We got the YouTube. We got the web. So all we got to do is put up these videos, and if there's an elect in Alaska, let's say there's 20 elect in Alaska that the Most High wants. Guess what? They're gonna come across it on the YouTube or some other platform on the web. The web does our heavy work. The YouTube and the web does our heavy work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit you with a couple of precepts, and then I'm going to close. So the precept that came to our mind when he said, oh, we got to go to all these different groups. We got a lot of work ahead of us. Well, our work is what? We're letting the tube, we're letting the web do our heavy work, man. I'm not going to carry 1,000 boxes 5 miles. I'll be stupid if I picked up one box and I walk 5 miles and drop the box off. Then I'll walk back with another box and walk 5 miles. Man, I'll be half dead. What we have today is what? A truck, a box truck. You might hire 2 people, 3 people, pay them whatever. I'll give you $20 an hour if you take these boxes and you put it in a truck. And then go 5 miles. You can drive with me in the back of the truck or the front of the truck, and then drop them off. I'll give you $20 an hour, or I'll give you, each one of you, I'll give you $200. Let's say I'm gonna get $10,000, and I tell the people, look, I'll give you $200. No matter how fast or slow you do it, it's 3 of you. Let's say 4. Let's say 4. 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm giving out $800 for 4 guys to pick up 1,000 boxes. A half of 1,000 is 500. A half of 500 is 250. I might pay them a little bit more, but let's say I give them 200. They might say, "Oh, well, all we got to do is pack the boxes up, hop on the truck, go 5 miles away, drop the boxes off, and we get $200." Let's say they're Mexicans or whatever, illegal Mexicans or whatever, legal, whatever. Oh, yeah, we'll do it. No problem. So I can say, you know what? I'm going to take the $2,000, $10,000, I'm going to pocket it, and I'm not even going to rent a truck. I'm just going to take it one by you. You be a fucking stupid ass. The reason why you have a truck, the reason why you have trains, cars, the reason why you have elevators, you might live on the 36th floor. You mean to tell me you're going to walk up 36 flights or 100 flights back and forth, up and down? What about old people? What about kids? What about you and packages? An elevator does our heavy lifting. A hand truck does our heavy lifting. A truck, a box truck, does our heavy lifting. So guess what? The web does our heavy lifting. You don't got to go to everybody. So let me read this precept and I'll read a couple more precepts and I'm going to close. It says Matthew 10, verse 23. And the main people we have to reach are who? The elect that are here in America, because what are we going to be saved from? The salvation is when the Lord comes back and deliver us from this fire. That's why he said, where the worm dieth not and the fire is not quenched. What was he talking about when he said when the fire is not quenched? I said this a couple of weeks ago. Where the fire is not, and the Christians will say that's talking about burning in hell. No, the fire is not quenched. Is talking about a Babylon being destroyed, but he didn't call it Babylon. That's what he was talking about. Where the worm dieth not, because everybody that's here in the borders of the U.S. will die. And where the fire is not quenched, the word quench means to put out. Ain't nobody could. There's not a fire truck big enough to put out the fire that's going to hit Babylon the Great. That's what the Lord was talking about. So let me read this. I'm gonna read this in a couple of. I went to the Bible Hub to the commentary, and they really wasn't hitting on nothing. So I said, let me go to the King James Version, Matthew 10, verse 23. When they persecute you in one city, flee to the next. For truly I say unto you, you will not have gone through all the towns or cities of Israel before the Son of Man come. So was it talking about only 2,000 years ago? No, it's talking about now. If you attempt to hit all the Israelites on the planet, 2 million, 3 million Israelites, I'll come before you get to all of them. So now let's go to the NLT and go to a couple of them. When you are persecuted in one town, flee to the next. I tell you the truth, the Son of Man will return before you have reached all the towns of Israel. So you don't got to go everywhere. We got to go to this part of Africa. We got to go to that part. We got to go to the Himalayan mountains. We got to go to the North Pole. We got to go to, we got to go all over the place. We got to go to the island of Crete. We got to go to what is that? Kittim, which is Cyprus today. We got to go throughout all of Israelite. We got to go all of, for that matter, Egypt. We got to go through all of Italy. Excuse me. We got to go through Spain. So it says, when you are persecuted in one town, flee to the next. I tell you the truth, the Son of Man will return before you have reached all the towns of Israel or where Israel is located. So relax. Let's try the NIV. When you are persecuted in one place, flee to another. Truly, I tell you, you will not finish going through the towns and hitting the people of Israel before the Son of Man comes. Meaning, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. When I come back, you still you ain't hitting nothing. You ain't hitting nothing, brother. Let's go to RSV. When they persecute you in one city, flee to the next. For truly I say to you, you will not have gone through all the towns of Israel before the Son of Man come. You attempt to do that, the Son of Man gonna be done came already. So what about the ones that you didn't hit? Well, they get hit. You hit them with the YouTube. You hit them with the web. Let's try one more. Let's try the NET. Guess that's a New English translation. Whenever they persecute you in one city, flee to another. I tell you the truth, you will not finish going through all the towns of Israel, of the Israelites, before the Son of Man comes. So it would be a waste of time to do that. We got to go over here. We got to tackle this part of Africa, then we got to go to South Africa, then we got to go to North Africa, then we got to go to Japan, then we got to go to Spain, then we got to go to Italy, then we got to go to China. China's a big place. Then we got to go to Russia. Then we got to go to the Ukraine, because there's got to be Israelites in Ukraine. Remember, we were scattered all over the place. So you got to go out there to the Ukraine and dodge bullets. So let me give you another precept. What is this? This is second Esdras 6, verse 20. You can read the whole chapter. And this right here, yeah, you can read the whole chapter. It says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away, what world? Esau's world. I don't even know what's talking about Esau's world. For Esau is the end of the world. So what world is vanishing away? Esau's world. Then there will come a new world. That's the world of Jacob. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away is Esau's world shall be finished. Whose world is going to be finished? Esau's world is going to be finished. Then will I show these tokens or signs. The books, the Apocrypha, the scriptures, shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. So I can do this video if a million people turn to this page or if this YouTube page, that's a million people that watch this video. If a billion people, that's a billion people that watch this video. Let me read it again. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall all see together. So what is that talking about? That's talking about the web. Let me go here. I looked up the word firmament, right? Here's a picture. Now, when you look up the definition of firmament, it gives you the reference in the book of Genesis. Now look at what they give you. Give you this crap. the earth is flat, and then that's the firmament. So there's a bottom part of the earth, under undercarriage to the earth. Any of you jakes out there, you thinking that the earth is flat, you got problems, man. Esau put that suggestion out there and you fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Okay, so here it is. So firmament, right? It says upper seas or waters above the firmament. This would be the firmament. Rakia or firmament. Now it says chambers in heavens. So they're saying if you get a rocket ship that go far enough, you actually reach heaven. You're not going to reach heaven. You're going to keep going and keep going. Heaven is in the fourth dimension. Heaven is in the spiritual realm. So this is inside of the firmament, right? Moon, stars, sun, windows, portals. Then you got the mountains, then you got the earth, then you got Sheol, which means the pit. You notice there's no fire down in it because there's no eternal hell underground. Pillars of the earth, pillars of the earth. They don't understand because they think that the earth, like these pillars, represent legs to a table. So that's how these guys think. They ain't showing you the pillars. It's a round table with a firmament on it, and it's flat. And you need pillars to hold it up. The earth is in space, but you need pillars, you need legs from the table to hold it up. So what's in the firmament that's making all these people, that's making it capable for me to do a video and it can reach 1 billion people? It can reach 3 or 4 billion people. Because everybody and your mama got a web, right? A smartphone, a PC, a laptop. Okay, let me look at this. Let me do this. Look at this. Does the earth really have a firmament over it? So I guess these are the different belief systems. Okay, you got the Egyptian, and that's supposed to represent, I think that's going in the Geb and Nut. Islam, they believe in it. Hebrew, Hindus, Babylonians, Celtics. So this right here, this Mason layout is supposed to represent the firmament. So is there a firmament? Yeah, the firmament, there is a firmament because it wouldn't be written in the scriptures. So what thing goes from us to the firmament and then to 1 billion people? The web. That's the thing that does our heavy work. And when the world that shall, what world? Esau's world that shall begin to vanish away, shall be finished. For the next world to come, Jacob's world to come, then will I show these tokens, these signs. The main token is the book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. So you don't got to get on planes, trains, and automobiles to go to every inch of the planet to make sure you hit really you got to hit everybody on the planet. 8 billion people, because you don't know that guy that might be in Scandinavia might be an Israelite. How many camps y'all got on the Himalaya mountains or Mount Fuji? You might have Jakes up there on Mount Fuji. We got to go up there because there might be the elect up there. You're going to wear yourself out. Today when we were speaking, we was out there for about 2.5 hours, a little bit more than 2.5 hours, maybe. And when I looked at the clock, it was almost the time for us to leave. And I don't want to leave. I want to stay out here. But we're used to leaving at a certain time. And I even told them, brother, I said, look, I didn't really want to go. So one of the brothers, a couple of them said, nah, we stay. We with it, man. As it gets warmer. And if people come around and listen, it's gonna make us forget time. And then we're gonna leave. We're supposed to leave at a certain time. And we realized, damn, we was here for another 45 minutes. And then when we close camp, we have a little discussion. And I throw it to them, open the floor with them. What's happening in the news? Any new scriptures? Any new information? News? Blah blah blah. Somebody said something that leads to somebody else. They here they are going into the smartphones, and that's like another class. So sometimes, like last year in the spring and summer, we were and even in the fall, we were we would be out there for about an hour, for an extra hour. So that's the spirit. That's how the spirit works. The spirit makes you do what the spirit of the Most High wants you to do. So when it gets the days are pretty long, but the days are going to get longer, and there'll be more people out there, and more things will be happening, and we'll definitely be out there. But we don't got to be out there 24 hours a day. That's the point that I'm making. So let me come over here. I want to hit this, and then I'm gonna close it. Psalms 19. The works and the word of the Most High. To the chief musician, a psalm of David, the heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. So what does that mean? The Most High built things, and that's part of the Lord's handiwork, which he gave to the chief foreman, which is Yahushua and the angels, to build everything, right? The heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament declare his handiwork. So what does it mean on the spiritual level? When you go back to 2nd Ezra 6 and 20, it says the same thing. It uses the same word, firmament. Let's go back to that again. The books shall be open before the firmament, and they shall see altogether. It says, day unto day utter a speech. That's us speaking, and night unto night. You can get up 3 in the morning and put on a YouTube video. The spirit might be on me to get up 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning and put together a video, a show of knowledge. Day unto day utter a speech, and night unto night show of knowledge. There was no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. So you got brothers that speak various different languages that push it out. The main language is English. Their line is going out through all the earth, the firmament, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. That goes into your satellite. What is a satellite? It's something that captures light and energy. When you put up a video and somebody watches your video in Russia, how did they get that video? Through the satellite. It captures the energy, and it matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Let me try this. Satellite. Look at this. It captures one thing and beams something back. It has a network. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get into the definition of the word satellite. Here it is again. Ooh. It says a tabernacle for the sun, right? A tabernacle is a house. It could be a tent. It could be a hut, right? A hut. It says noun, a celestial body, something that's in the space out there in the firmament, orbiting around a planet or what is that? Star Earth is a satellite of the what? Sun. Tabernacle of the sun, also called artificial satellite, a man-made device orbiting around the Earth, moon, or another planet, transmitting to Earth scientific information or used for communication. See also communication satellites. Are we communicating with you? Let me go to communicating satellites. Okay, let me do this. What is the communication satellite used for? The purpose of communication satellites is to relay, because in Psalm 19 it speaks about a circuit, right? It speaks about a circuit to relay the signal around the curve of the Earth, allowing communication between widely separated geographical points. That's why I can do a video right now and somebody in Russia, Moscow, Russia, can see this. Somebody in China can see this. One of the brothers, Barack, that beloved elder from LAGMS, he came into this truth when he was stationed in, I believe it was a Marine, if I'm not mistaken. He was in one of the forces. And he was stationed in Japan, and all he used to do all day was train at the gym because he was a kickboxer. And then on his downtime, he would watch the GMS videos. He was watching us. And he told his story. And he said that's how he got into the truth. And he said, when I get to the States, I want to go out and visit these guys. But his eyes were open to the truth because he was all the way in Japan and he was watching YouTube videos in Japan. And said the purpose of communications satellites is to relay the signal around the curve of the Earth, allowing communication between widely separated geographical points. Communications satellites, which is a tabernacle for the sun, use a wide range of radio and microwave frequencies. Mm. These are the three types of communication services that satellites provide: telecommunication, broadcasting, and data communication. Data communication is the web. Telecommunication is the smartphone. Broadcasting is the TV set, the YouTube, the Facebook, the TikTok. How far is communication satellite from the Earth? Telecommunications satellites are usually placed in A geostationary Earth orbit. Geo is a circular. Did not it say circle in Psalms 19? Orbit 35. What is that? 35,786 kilometers above the Earth's equator, and follows the direction of Earth's rotation. So let's come back over here. It says their line is going out through all the Earth, communication satellite. A satellite is a tabernacle for the what? The sun. I read it. And their words to the end of the world. I just read all that. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. What's a tabernacle for the sun? A satellite, which is a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, meaning his truth is going out and rejoicing as a strong man to run a race. So as soon as I put this up, put this video up, instantaneously it's open to anybody that chooses to go on my channel. His going forth is from the end of the heaven. It goes into the firmament and it comes back down to the earth. It goes from the earth to the firmament, the satellite, and it comes back down to the earth. It says, sixth verse. His going forth is from the end of heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. You can't stop it. Esau is trying to stop it. He's trying to demonize us. The law, 7th verse, the law of the Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. What does the word convert mean? To get with the truth. Con meaning with, and vert meaning the truth. Get with the truth. So we're converting the soul. It says in Daniel 12, around the fourth verse, it says, turning many to righteousness. The testimony of Yahweh is sure, making wise the simple. And I can go on. 8th verse. I'll read this one last verse. The statutes of Yahweh are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord Yahweh is pure, enlightening the eyes. You can read the rest of it. But anyway, with that, I think I said enough. Like I said, in closing, you don't have to physically go to every person on the planet Earth. You don't have to go to 9 billion people and tell each and every one of them they're Israelites. Because the Lord said that. Before you can hit all them people, I'm going to come already. I gave you 2,000 years to reach everybody on the planet, and I'm going to beat you. You ain't going to get to them. You got 2,000 years to do this. If you want to look at it that way. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.